and it's literally also tucked in the most random building.
Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. This is part 3 of our Taiwan cafe hopping series. If you guys missed our part 1 and 2 where we traveled to Kaohsiung and Tainan,
We'll leave the links down in the description box below,
Yes,
and you guys can check it out.
yeah, we did go to a few other cafes and specialty coffee shops, so make sure to check them out if you haven't.
We arrived in Taipei last night, so this morning we are at a specialty coffee shop called Coffee Suite. It's apparently one of the first few specialty coffee shops in Taipei, so I'm assuming that they have been open for quite a while now. Yeah.
And you know, they are a specialty coffee shop when majority of the items on the menu are just coffee. So it's like 80% or like 90% just coffee drinks with the different coffee beans, and then they have like little snacks as compared to cafes with like brunch menus and things like that.
Yeah,
so
that's
that
right.
was nice.
Yeah, I think if I'm not wrong, we'll insert a photo of the menu. There were about like 14 different types of single origin beans to choose from. The first one was actually the only hand pour. So that's the interesting thing about this cafe, is that majority of their coffee are siphon coffee.
Yeah, that was very interesting to us because we have never actually tried a siphon coffee before. So we wanted to film the process of the coffee siphoning,
I think so.
but we were not allowed to. So we did ask permission. However, they did mention that
the staff was saying it might actually distract the barista during the extraction process, which I guess is understandable.
Yeah, I mean, we will just respect that.
Yeah, but it would have been interesting though if we could show you guys, because when we were searching up for specialty coffee shops, they were saying that this particular cafe, the way they do the siphoning is slightly different, whereby they kind of wrap a cloth around the bottom beaker or siphoner, whatever you call it, which apparently helps to increase the extraction rate, if I'm not wrong. I don't know, but I don't think normal siphon coffee does that. So I guess that's the differentiator.
Yeah, so our coffees are here. We ordered one that is the siphon coffee and one latte.
Okay, so the siphon coffee is an Ethiopian bean. It's a Hambella washed. And alright, we're not talking about the flavor notes first. And then the latte that we got, I think it's actually the Costa Rica Catalina Natural. I don't know if that makes sense, but we chose that in a latte instead of a siphon coffee. We're gonna try the siphon coffee first, which is the Ethiopian coffee.
Yeah, it looks very light. Okay, so we actually chose this one that has a more florally taste because they were asking us if we would like a floral one or a fruity one. So we haven't really tried a floral one, so we decided to go with this.
Yep.
Okay, hang on.
I'm just curious to see how different it will be from a pour over, because it looks like a pour over kind of consistency. Cheers! What? I feel like I say that for all the coffees I've tried so far, but what? Hold on. Okay, maybe we should say it actually came with a little card as well. Once again, everything is still in Mandarin because we're still in Taiwan.
Might have to use Google Translate.
Yeah, or you guys can just pause and Google Translate this. Alright. It's something along the lines where this particular coffee is slightly sweeter, if I'm not wrong, compared to other coffees. Sorry, let's do Google Translate. So the card says this cup of coffee contains more sugar. What is separate the precipitate during cooling? It is recommended that you shake the cup, makes it dissolve and taste sweeter.
I mean, this is the direct translation, so...
Yeah, I mean, it could be wrong, but...
I guess we get the idea.
Yeah.
So, I guess what they're saying is that this cup of coffee is towards the sweeter side.
Maybe.
My first impression when I drank this was, I actually don't mind this.
It tastes like tea.
Yeah, it tastes like tea, but at the back, it tastes like espresso.
Oh, really?
When I swallowed it, it's like, oh, okay, this is coffee. But when I first drank it, it is really not a fruity type of coffee though. It is more florally, like you said.
It's very... I'm going to use the word interesting a lot as well during the videos. But
I don't know, the aftertaste definitely tells me it's coffee.
That's coffee. Because it's light, but it's
It is
not light
very
at the
light.
same time for me. So it's like the initial taste that you get, it's very light, very tea-like. And then after that, at the back, it kind of just coats your tongue.
And I would say compared to the previous few coffees or like the pour over that we had in Thailand, this does taste sweeter, doesn't
Sweeter.
it? Drink again and see if it tastes any sweetness. It's not bitter.
Oh no, for sure no.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure if it's the type of beans or the type of extraction. I can't really smell much sense coming from this cup of coffee as compared to the pour over where the moment itself I can immediately smell a few of the flavor. But so I had a drink again and you're right about the sweetness. I feel like the sweetness is coming out towards the end for me.
Mine is towards the middle part.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
towards the middle part, and then when I swallowed it at the end, it gives a little bit of bitterness, but not a lot.
Oh, I'm not getting any bitterness at all. Yeah. Alright, so for the flavor notes, they only gave 2. The first one is floral, and the second one is white peach. So because we've never had floral coffee before,
White peach.
I can actually taste the white peach. It reminds me of peach tea, a very, very diluted peach tea. So I'm guessing that's the sweetness that I'm getting. And in terms of the floral, they don't really say what type of florals exactly, but I would say that there might be some sort of floralness in it.
Maybe.
But the good thing is there's no perfumey taste,
Right.
which I thought correlated to floraliness. So
Yeah,
that
was way off,
I
I
don't
think.
know. Yeah, good choice. I think this was a good choice.
Now the sweetness is coming up at the tip of my tongue.
Ah, so maybe that's what they're saying. The more you swirl, the more it sits, the more you swirl, and then the sweetness just dissipates towards. Okay, we should also try the other latte because it's been sitting there.
This is the latte.
The latte from Costa Rica, I guess. Yeah, I think it's the Costa Rica. So for this one, we actually asked the staff to recommend one of the single origin beans that tends to go better with milk coffee. And this was one of the ones that she recommended. Oh, wait, what? Wait, what?
Yeah, that's literally what I thought. Wait, what?
What?
I feel like they put something on the foam.
Did they?
Did you taste anything on the foam? Because when I first went for a sip, I drank the foam first, and when the foam touches my lip, I felt a bit of like a caramelized sugar type of thing. I don't know if they actually torched. I don't think so. But
Or maybe their milk was just... Oh, actually no. You know what? Maybe they did add some stuff.
Wait,
There's like a little
is that
speckles.
cinnamon?
Maybe. Might be. Okay, the thing is, I was just about to say, I actually think this feels more like a cappuccino than a latte.
In terms of the foam?
Yeah, in terms of the foam. And for this, the cappuccino actually comes with cinnamon. So I'm not sure if there was like a miscommunication somewhere or everything just came with cinnamon. But I'm not too sure how I feel about this though. So I feel like I've taken like 4 sips. The first 3 sips for me, all I could taste was milk. On the 4th sip, then I started to taste something similar to some sort of coffee.
Yeah. It's like the fruity ones that we had.
Yeah, but it's very subtle though.
Yeah, it's
I find
very,
this
very
is
subtle.
very subtle. But it might actually make sense because of the siphon. Maybe they siphon the coffee and then they add, right?
Milk.
It should be,
Yeah,
right?
I
Because I
think
don't
so.
think they would have used the espresso machine. But because of how light the siphoned coffee tasted, maybe that's why the espresso isn't really coming through. But you can still taste it. It's very, very
Well, honestly, I can taste this espresso more, even though it's still light, but I can taste it more than the other ones that we had.
Oh.
I do taste it more.
I feel the opposite. So the flavor notes for these ones, they gave us 3. The first one is plum. We've got cherry and cocoa. So I would feel like cocoa and cherry, well, 3 of them are pretty strong flavored stuff. So maybe I was expecting a bit more.
Maybe plum, is that the sweet and sourness?
Maybe.
Because
I don't taste
know
any
plum
cherry.
is like sour, but it's got like a sweet coating to it normally.
I'm not sure.
I think it's not too bad. I feel like this is their type of specialty coffee
Maybe.
in Taiwan, where I feel like they're more focused on the
The flavors itself.
flavors. Yeah.
I was about to say probably for this, like the single origin beans and maybe prepped with the siphoning method, I would probably recommend trying just the siphoning, like siphoned coffee without milk.
Yeah.
I feel like that way you would be able to appreciate the flavor notes a little bit more.
Yeah, I think this is more so for specialty coffee shops, but for regular coffee shops, I think it's fine. I don't know.
All right.
So I think that's all we have for this coffee shop. We will be going to another one, so we will see you in the next one.
Bye.
Alright guys, so we are here at our second location, and this is also a specialty coffee shop. It's called Simple
Kaffa.
Cafe. Kaffa.
I think it's Kaffa.
Yeah, and apparently they have won multiple awards.
Yeah, alright. Let us just quickly show you the name of the cafe. Alright. We saw that they won a couple of awards. So there were random portafilter.
As the trophy, which was
Yeah.
very interesting.
And another one which has like a bean kind of design. So I'm assuming they probably won 2 types. So like maybe a barista one and also a roaster one.
They even have like a big temper kind of trophy
Oh, really? I
as
didn't
well.
see that.
And then they have like a whole wall of them, literally. That
Yeah.
was really, really interesting.
Yeah. Okay, they have got a huge list, like huge. We'll put a photo of the menu somewhere here. Most of them, I think, are single origin. There are some blends as well.
So we've ordered 2 coffees again, and this time we've gone for both hand pours because we found that the milk coffees have been a bit disappointing. So we decided to just go for the hand pours this time. And one of them that we ordered was this light roasted
Ethiopian bean.
heirloom. I don't
Yeah.
know what that means, but
Okay.
it's got very interesting fruity flavor notes.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna quickly pour it out. So it's very interesting the way that they serve this one. So they serve it in like a little glass server,
Yeah.
and we are meant to pour it.
Into a drinking cup, which I don't know.
That
if
is
it's-
apparently a 2-sided cup.
So it looks like this. There's the white part and there's the green part. If you can see the white part, there's a little drinking spout. So the staff actually told us to pour the coffee below this little line here.
This,
Yep, the indentation.
and then give it a swirl.
Yep, and then drink from the white lid side. Alright, so let's give it a go.
Give it a whiff.
Okay.
Does it smell fruity?
No, it doesn't.
Oh, it actually doesn't.
Yeah. I'm not
Alright.
gonna say what I smell, but maybe you should give it a taste first. Just for context, the 2 we ordered, one was actually a light roasted and one was a dark roasted hand pour. So we decided to try the light roasted first because I was worried that the dark roast might actually cover the light roast. I don't know if that's how it works, but logic. What?
I feel like on this trip, this little cafe, coffee shop hopping trip, it has been a very interesting experience.
It's been an eye-opening,
Yeah.
eye-widening, mouth-opening journey. Wow.
So first off, to me, in my opinion, I thought it was gonna be a very fruity, acidic kind of coffee, but it is a bit more of a bitter coffee to me. It's leaning towards the bitter side, which is not a bad kind of bitter. I'm just gonna say fruity kind of bitterness, which
Makes sense.
yeah, I mean it's a bit biased because we chose this particular coffee based on the flavor
Flavor
notes.
notes, yeah.
Alright, what do you think? Do you think
Okay,
it's bitter?
I agree. So how would I put it? The major flavor notes that I'm getting, which has the bitterness that you're talking about, is I think again the citrus rind. So like the skin of the like a
orange
lemon.
peel.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you get that weird mouth feel. I don't really know how to put it. If you've eaten like orange peel before, there is a bitterness to it, which also brings out a little bit of the citrus citrusy fruitiness kind of thing. So I think that might be the taste that you're getting. I'm getting a little bit of astringency. I don't know if you are.
Okay.
Like my mouth is a little bit dry.
Very slight, not really, but
Not really.
yeah,
I don't
very
know.
slight.
I just,
But it could be because I feel like it's leaning towards the more bitter end of the
maybe.
scale. But I do taste like the fruit bitterness, which is like yuzu or like the pomelo kind of bitterness, right?
Yeah, and it might actually be the bergamot as well.
Bergamot.
Alright, so they gave us the card, like a flavor note card, a coffee card that has very kindly been translated in English as well. So there's orange, yuzu, bergamot, which we found out was a type of citrus fruit as well, oolong tea, and white flowers.
Yeah, I feel like I'm tasting mostly the orange and the yuzu.
Yeah.
Bergamot, I'm not too sure how it tastes like.
Same, but it looks like a citrus fruit, so I would say it tastes rather similar, maybe, to orange. I quite like it.
Yeah, it's like a nice bitter.
Yeah, it is very different from any of the hand pours and the coffees that we've had on this trip as
Okay,
well.
so I just took another sip, and when I swallowed the coffee, it just coats the side of my tongue.
Hey, that's what I wanted to say.
It coats it very nicely. It's like a very pleasant kind of coating.
Yeah,
It's like the bitterness, but it's not bitterness. It just went across
just
and it coats
wraps.
it.
Yeah.
And it feels very nice. Like a
Yeah.
nice.
Alright, let's quickly try the other one before it gets cold. Okay, so this one's the dark roasted and it's a blend.
Yeah, it is a blend. So we'll just pour it out.
Yep. Alright, let's give it a try. I'll give it a whiff first.
This, it smells different already to me.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything about it first.
Well, the smell alone, it tastes a lot darker.
It tastes.
It smells, sorry. It smells a lot darker than the previous one. Somehow you can just smell the,
the roasted.
darkness.
I think it's the roastedness, yeah. Okay, so this blend is a blend of Brazilian and Colombian beans. If it matters, I don't know if it's where it's processed, but it's bourbon and caturra.
So the interesting thing with this cup is that we mentioned that there is a sip and we are supposed to drink from the white color side of the cup. But they were saying that it somehow brings out the flavor a bit more, which I'm not sure how it works. I'm not sure if it's because of the angle of the spout they're supposed to do that, or
I feel like it might be the shape of
might-
the cup.
it's just the shape.
Yeah, like the shape and maybe not just the lid, maybe like the entire weird, I don't know, this body
This
shape
design.
thingy, the tapered shape.
Alright, so like Z said, this is a dark roasted bean. I'm sure you guys would have guessed the sort of flavor notes already, but there is just one very strong note that hits me.
What is that note?
It's the nutty note.
Yeah,
Is that what
same.
you're tasting?
Yeah, there are 3 flavor notes that they gave us: nuts, caramel, and chocolate.
Chocolate. Yeah.
Gonna be very honest, yeah, like what John said, nuts is the main flavor. For the caramel, I find that it's at the end, and similarly to the previous one, it kind of coats the tongue a little bit. It's not very sweet though. The scent, the smell, it just reminds me of something like roasted nuts.
Yeah. It's just a very
Charred. Yeah, I don't
just
really
very,
know.
very roasted.
Yeah, this kind of reminds me a little bit of the espresso that we drink at home.
That's what I thought,
Right?
to be honest.
Yeah,
It's
the
just
first
that-
sip that I took.
Yeah, I wouldn't say diluted version, it's just a bigger ratio
Yeah.
of the type of coffee that we had.
But once again, the dark roasted beans, the flavor is so much more intense.
It might be because of the bitterness comparing bitterness and sourness, I feel like bitterness is always like the bigger flavor.
Yeah, I agree. But I'm kind of glad we did try the light roasted one first,
Yeah.
because I feel like this one would have definitely overpowered the other one.
It's a very nice place. We are at the second level. So the first level is just purely their
Barista station, I would say.
yeah, I wouldn't say kitchen, but it's just a whole open concept
Yeah.
station.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. And if I'm not wrong, these servers are literally the servers that they place the dripper on. If I'm not wrong. So
It
they
hasn't been
literally,
transferred
yeah,
or
it hasn't been transferred already.
Yeah.
Okay, disclaimer, we'll put the other photo of the other menu, the today's special menu, and you can see how bougie this place is. When the first staff showed us today's special menu, I thought I was tripping. I thought there was like a typo in the menu, but
There was so many digits.
the first line on the menu was 22,000
Taiwan
dollars. So I did a rough calculation. It's about 670 US dollars. I was asking John, is that for beans? But no, it's actually for a cup, if I'm not wrong. A cup of some geisha.
Yeah, that must be the coffee that they use in some competition and they won some kind of awards. That's what I'm guessing.
But still 670
For one
US
cup of
dollars.
coffee. We might try it one day.
No, I don't think we'll ever be able to afford that.
Just to give like an idea, the one that we ordered here, just one of these normal blend or hand pours, is 200 Taiwan dollars, which is about 6 years old. Just compared to like 600 USD.
For sure. And these ones, I feel are good enough, honestly. I'm not saying that that's not good enough, but I
These
don't
are
feel...
for peasants like us.
Exactly.
You know?
I don't feel worthy if we were to order that cup of coffee. It's insane. I don't think I can do that.
So this was an interesting one in this little coffee shop. And we will see you in the next one.
Cheers! Good morning, everybody. It's a new day and we're at a new cafe. We're still in Taipei.
It's more of like a coffee shop more than a cafe because they only sell coffees.
And small bites as
Yeah,
well.
it is a very interesting place because it's part of this little, I would say,
Market,
souvenir kind of shop.
I guess
But
so.
it's very aesthetically pleasing.
And there is barely anyone in this coffee shop. That's why it might sound like we're whispering.
Yeah,
We're
it's really quiet, so we are just trying to stay quiet as well.
We just seated in a corner. So we ordered 2 coffees as usual. One of them is hand pour, and the other one we got their specialty blend. Is it cappuccino?
Cappuccino.
Cappuccino.
Yeah. We thought we just try one milk and one pour over.
Yeah.
Maybe we try the pour over first.
Yeah.
So the beans for the pour over, we decided to go with this Honduras El Retono Suazo. I don't know. But it's got very interesting flavor notes once again.
Yeah.
It's natural wash or processed.
And we'll talk about the flavor notes later.
Yeah, sure. Let's give it a whiff. Very nice cup though.
Aesthetically pleasing to fit the entire coffee shop.
It doesn't feel like it's very light.
Yeah, I was about to say, it smells a bit medium dark roast. And also, sorry, we forgot to mention, the coffee shop that we're at is called Coffee 2. So they literally serve the recipe card or the flavor note card in
a little envelope.
I know, it's insane. Okay.
Okay, I feel like all these ones, somehow all the hand pours, they don't have much bitterness.
Yeah.
Is that right? You normally get bitterness at the end when you swallow the espresso?
I'm not sure. Maybe.
I don't know. Because normally when we drink our coffees at home, we do get that bitterness after swallowing the shot. So with these hand pours, when I swallow the espresso, it doesn't feel bitter.
Yeah, I mean, I can barely taste any bitterness. If not, it's just very mild, like the probably more so like tea type of bitterness, which is not so harsh on the tongue. Maybe.
Maybe that's the unique thing about pour-overs because the bitterness is less intense. I would say.
They gave us 3 flavor notes. The first one is dried cranberry. We've got white peach, and we also have honey black tea. To be honest, the 3 of them sound quite sweet, but I can't taste much sweetness for me.
Well, honey is sweet, and then it's black tea. So black tea would be bitter, I would say.
Cranberry
sure about
is actually
cranberry.
sour, and then it's sweet. So I would say there is some sort of acidity for this one, like sourness that's quite prominent. So I'm just gonna link that to the dried cranberry, but it doesn't actually have the sweet aftertaste of a cranberry. I don't think it's much of an issue. But for the white peach, I was expecting it to be a little bit sweeter overall, but I feel like it's not as sweet. I'm not sure if it's because of the combination as well. That's okay, maybe after it cools down, the notes might change again.
But this definitely feel like it's more of a medium to dark roast as compared to the ones we had yesterday. That was of a lighter to medium roast.
Okay, let's quickly try the cappuccino because it's deflating. First off, I really like the latte art because there is none.
Well,
It's a
that is
dolop.
latte.
It's the kind of latte art I aspire to do one day.
Because I feel like that's what they do with the cappuccino. They just put a blob of foam because that is what
Yeah.
makes it a cappuccino, I guess.
I guess.
And the one thing they like to do with their cappuccino is to put cinnamon on top. Very interesting.
Yeah, this is like the specialty coffee shop that we've been to who adds cinnamon to their latte, cappuccino or latte. I'm not too sure, but they are both of them. John wasn't here when she brought over the coffee, but the coffee smelled really like fruity, so I could be way off with the flavor notes, but yeah.
So the coffee beans they use for this cappuccino is actually a blend. There's 3 parts to it. So 2 parts of them, I think it's Ethiopia washed coffee, and then the other part would be Costa Rica.
Honey? I think it's honey washed.
Yeah, I think so.
So 2 parts would be natural wash and then 1 part would be honey washed. Yeah.
Okay, the other interesting thing about this card is they mention the ratio they use for this cappuccino. So they use a 1:2 ratio with, okay, I'm assuming this meant that it has got a buttery crema.
Yeah.
So it wraps the tongue and it gives a smooth finish. Okay, so she did mention that this beans, it has got a more acidic flavor to it.
Okay, so the 3 flavor notes that they have is orange, cherry, and hazelnut chocolate. So I guess maybe that's why she was saying it's a bit more acidic because of the orange and the cherry, maybe?
But I don't really taste much sourness in this.
Maybe was she referring to like the espresso on its own?
Probably. Let me try it again. The fun part with this cappuccino is that the cinnamon powder is actually floating on foam. So you do have to use your sense of smell and your sense of taste to drink this coffee. Because when I first picked up the cup, before I drank it, I had a whiff of the cinnamon and then I tasted the coffee. Somehow it just goes together.
Yeah, I was wondering if that was the whole point of having cinnamon. Is it to play with the smell part or is it more for like the flavor part?
Initially, I thought it was just for the flavor, like how we add chocolate powder to drinks. But somehow this cinnamon, it sort of blends with the taste, even though I'm not drinking the cinnamon.
We should probably look into this. But what about the coffee itself though? Do you like it?
Honestly, I actually like this cappuccino.
Same. I feel like it's okay. It might be a bit bad, but I feel like this is my favorite cup of cappuccino, like for the entire trip. Because I feel like the intensity is just right.
Yeah.
Maybe the body is a little bit more heavy body as compared to the rest, which probably, I don't know, maybe lighter. And this one actually stays on your tongue, I realized, for a longer time. And maybe also because of the cup size, I feel like this is slightly smaller than a lot of the lattes and cappuccinos that we had. So maybe the milk to espresso ratio works.
In terms of these 2 cups though, I do prefer the cappuccino because it does taste nice. But I feel like the other cafe where we ordered the milk drink and the pour-overs, I prefer the pour-over more.
Maybe it's this flavor profile that we chose as well.
Alright, so I think that's it for this cafe, or actually for this trip. So overall, I feel like I'm pleasantly surprised with the coffee culture over here. Because Taiwan is kind of more known for like their teas and stuff. But apparently they have a lot of championship roasters, baristas all around. And it was actually easy for us to find.
I mean, just adding on to what John said, kind of unexpected. We were able to find specialty coffee shops that kind of take things quite seriously. I mean, in a good way, don't get me wrong. It kind of shows how maybe passionate or interested they are. And it's not like the staff working there are the owners of the cafe, but it seems like they know quite a bit on the coffee, what kind of flavor notes. Maybe if you can even let them know what type of coffee you like, I feel like they will be able to recommend one to you quite easily. And given all of the special cards that we got after ordering the hand pours, I don't know, I just think it's very eye-opening.
So I mean, if you guys are thinking of traveling to Taiwan, it's worth visiting all these specialty coffee shops. We actually just search for specialty coffee instead of cafes.
Yes.
Yeah, if that helps.
That's the key takeaway.
Yeah.
Because if you search for cafes, there are tons.
Yeah.
And most of them do have very nice, even like vintage interiors, but they probably don't have specialty coffee. So yeah, like what John says, search out specialty coffee, even on Google or Google Maps. I'm sure you'll be able to find something. Or if you guys want, you could just follow like wherever we've been. We will definitely leave the links down below, the names of the cafes in our videos as well.
Yeah. You know they do a good job, or at least a decent job, if 80 to 90% of the menu are just coffee drinks.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Alright, so I guess that marks the end of this series. Do let us know if you enjoyed this video by giving us a thumbs up, and maybe leave us a comment down below on say a really memorable, unforgettable cafe that you had during your travels. I think that would be quite interesting.
Yeah, we can check it out and others can check it
Who
out
knows?
as well.
Maybe one day.
One day if we're there. And also subscribe to our channel. We do videos about making coffee at home, and also videos like these where it's just coffee related stuff.
Okay.
We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.